Hello, Nazima.
Yeah, let us configure that unmatched part. Is it done?
Yeah. You have problem connection, huh?
Yeah, there is some GoToMeeting problem. Yeah, fine. Fine then. So you can just start doing that. Change the algorithm for source. Yeah. Why we have two links here? We can have only one link. Gopal?
Actually, I kept to capture the reject records one.
Yeah,
So
no. Now we are focusing only on drop option. Let us understand that clearly with
you,
partial
Nazima,
match, with complete match. Yeah,
you can take control. You
let
can
me
take
do that.
control.
Let me do that. So let's go here and yeah. So now I got access. Yeah, here same job. Did you copy it or you need to create from scratch? This is fine. That is perfect. So we just need to use the same drop option, which is this. But in the last example, we have seen all the records which are transferred, right? Now we are going to change the algorithm. So let us say here we go, and we are changing the source algorithm, not lookup here. Let us say 1. This is 1 only, right?
Yes, yes.
And then increment is 2, fine, and 1 3 5 7 9. After that you'll have 11, all that, where they don't get matched. Yeah? So limit we have not kept it anything, so which means it will keep on what growing with the increment of 2. Yeah? So now let us save it. You saved it with a good name. Partial match. Oh, you gave reject, huh? No, reject we have not started anyway. Fine. Now let's compile and run. Where is that? One second, one second. Why it's not sorted? It should sort. It's finished, right? Now let us look at the log. We still have two nodes, huh? Gopal told that we need to change. Let's see.
So how does that make two node difference?
No, the data will be divided, that's all. So if you don't have it, then we can see complete data in one. Or else it will be divided into multiple nodes. So parts, can you see there are two partitions, right? 0, 1. It used to be divided into two nodes, that's all. Yeah? So that's the only difference. So we can see complete data in one peak if you have single node. Yeah? because it's small data, right? So we don't need. So we have just used two node configuration just to see like how the dump score works. Yes or no? Yeah. Can you see here how many records we have here? Here two, and in second you have 1357 and it should be 3. Total should be 5. Yeah, correct, right? That's all. Then what happened to the records? So they are not going to get matched, so we don't get those records transferred to a target. That's all about this matching part or partial match. Clear, right? Now, in case, now the question, in case if you want to capture the records which are not matched, then we need to think of reject. Now we can go with what? A reject example. Yeah? So like we have 11, 13, 15, 17, right? Those records we have, right? So to capture, or if you want to capture those records, then we can use the reject option. Yeah? Yeah, that's all. Now save it. How do you do that? Simple. One, need to change the lookup failure option from this drop to reject. Yeah? So this is one of the important stages. Lookup, join, merge, all these stages, right? These are very important stages. So without these stages, there will not be any project. At least one of these stages need to be used. Yeah? Because we will be dealing with what more than one source, right? In most of the projects, but it's not mandatory, right? But mostly we deal with more than one source. Yeah, that's it. Yeah, can you see here? There is an error here, missing reject property. So which means we need to have another link to capture rejected records. Yeah. So this is, can you see here, the imaginary line or dotted line with arrow. Then we can use separate peak where we capture rejected records. Yeah. That's it. Now that compilation error will be gone. Yeah, so now we can run. So this option, do you have corresponding option in join stage? Can you guess?
No. In Jan stage, we don't have a reject.
Yeah, we don't have. That's good. So we don't have. So we have it in different way, but only thing is we don't capture them in a separate link. For example,
Right.
if you take a right outer, you know, so in that case, we are not rejecting it, but instead we are marking the unmatched records as what? 0 or null or empty. So, but here lookup we have, or we can capture unmatched records in a separate output link, which is a reject link.
Right. In Jan stage, you were saying how we marking to reject records.
Now we don't have that, but we have indirect way. Like for example, if you take right outward join or left outward join, where you will get matching records first and also unmatched records, but from the right table, if you take left outward join, it will be marked as what? 0 or null or empty. Yes or no? There are what? Unmatched records. Clear, right?
Okay. So in most of the interviews, they will ask like how you can reject in by using giant stage. So what would be the best answer?
Very simple. How to capture unmatched records? Just filter with null or 0. If you go to left outer, filter for right table data. Wherever there is a 0 or null or empty, those records we can capture them in separate output link in some other stage. Yeah, like a filter stage. We can use filter, right? Where we can just capture by putting a filter condition. That's it. That's how we can capture, but directly within this join, we don't have that directly. Yeah. So there's a
But
question. Almost, yeah, yeah, yes. Go ahead. You're saying something.
right, but with the giant stage itself, we can do reject records, but not directly rejecting the records, but we are eliminating the results by using the option left join or right join, right?
Yeah, we are doing it, but if you want to capture them in separate link, then we can use some almost stage where you can capture those records where there is no match. Yeah. So, but within a join we can't achieve it. So we can do it by adding one more stage. There's one more question here from Manish. How can you set the unmatched records default to null? Okay. So for that, but we don't have that option. By default, if it is a string, it will be null or empty. If it is integer, by default it will be 0. So you cannot set null if it is an integer type. Anish, because nulls, they have been designed for strings or characters, Anish. But if you want to set even 0 to null, we can do that by using what there are different null handling options. Set null to 0, set 0 to null, or whatever. We have different options with the nullability. But those things, it's not advisable to do that, especially in what unmatched part, because it itself will take care. If it is a string, null or empty. If it is an integer, it's a 0. Manish? So yeah, checking for nulls to identify unmatched records as 0 might be a valid value. Okay. In that case, you can replay. Oh, in that case, so what Anish's question was, sometimes 0 might be the valid case. Yeah. So in such cases, so we can just use, there is a null property. For example, here, probably we have not talked about it. Set in sequential file stage, probably when you go with the sequential file stage, I'll show like how to do that. Set null to what, or set 0 to null, we can replace. Yeah. That's always possible, or we can use transformer stage or modify stage, which we have not discussed. Yeah. If the source is file stage or whatever, or database stage, we have those options, but here we don't have it. But we can use it, we can use modify stage or transformer stage to achieve that, if you want to do it within the transformer level, Anish. But within that stage, which is what in these stages, right, we don't have that straight away. Yeah. We need to handle it separately, which means wherever there is what 0, replace that with nulls. Yeah. Yes, you are right, Anish. We need to pull the data from this and then capture it in some other stage where we can handle what replacing 0 with null or any other value with some other. So yeah, fine. Now we got this thing, right? How to capture, how to configure this reject. Let us run. Now we have two node configure. There will be some confusion here. So can you change it to single node, Gopal? Not in, yeah, I think administrative level you can do it, because multi-node concept you already understood, right? Just change it to single node so that we'll be dealing with a single node from now on. Which config file is referred there? Is it N1 or I think N2, right? Default one. N2 is referred, I guess. So you need to change N2. Oh, here also one. Or default.apt here. Open the default.apt. No, default.apt file. You already removed, huh, Gopal? Did you remove it? Or no? It's not. Yeah, you need to change default.apt. Now open that file, Gopal. See how many nodes are there in default.apt. Change.
Default.apt is 2, but the N1 is a single node. That's all.
Then in that case you can put n1.apt there. Admin. Just change this config. This is the best option, Gopal. Actually, administrator level you should not change it. You need to change the config file, Gopal. Because if you change here, right, we need to reopen the designer all that. If you change config,
Okay.
it's dynamic. We don't need to do that.
Where I need to?
Here we'll put only default.apt, but in config file, default.apt file, right, where you remove one of the nodes, sorry.
Where?
Open the default.apt file. Just now you opened, right? From the Explorer, Windows Explorer. Windows Explorer, Gopal.
Yeah.
You already opened just now. Just remove one node from that. This one, I think, right? You already went there just now. Yeah, oh God. Just remove this. Yeah, go to, yeah, correct. Open this file, remove one node, that's all, and save it. This is correct, yeah. Let us remove it. Oh, perfect, Gopal. That's all. Save it, and then now, if you go and run it, then we'll see the complete data in single node. So we have many things to cover.
It is not showing the status, Nrsimha.
The job monitor might be down, I think.
Like Jobman going to separate project folder or like how?
Which one?
To up Java folder, right? The Jobman.
Yes, it will be on the Java folder where there will be a script which is jobman init script. No?
Right.
So using that we need to start jobman init start.
Right, but that Java folder is separate for each project or like how?
No, it is on a PX engine, which is engine folder is same for all, which is PX engine, right?
Right.
It
But
is,
is there any way, like if, for example, we have a 10 projects, so if we want to disable that display, so
Oh, you want
in
the
that,
monitoring option for one project, not for other project. That's what you were trying to ask question, right? Yeah.
right.
So there is, I think you need to answer. I have already said this. There is an environment variable which is apt no job mode. Yeah. If you set it for one project, don't set it for other project. So project level we can always handle it. Remember we discussed this. Forgot? When we talked about monitoring related environment variables, like we have apt monitor size, apt monitor mean time, apt monitor time, and then apt no job mon. These are the four variables.
Okay.
Yes or no?
Right.
So we can
Yeah,
just
yeah.
set that clear, right? Yeah. So without
Right.
starting at complete level. You see, if you do it, let's say stop, then you will not get the statistics for all the projects. But let us say job monitor should be up and running, but we need to what you call disable for some projects. Then open that project, disable that option, job monitor option. Go on. Yeah. Fine. Now, so let us look at, oh, I guess still we are getting two nodes, huh? How come here? Is this the same job like what we did just now? It's a reject job, huh? Yeah, so let's quickly look at the result. Oh, where it went? So it was modified, right? That config file.
Right.
Then it should not come. How come? It is still two nodes. Oh, it's not two nodes. In one target, we are capturing what normal
Oh,
output data. Other target, so some other peak
result.
name, right? This is capturing what rejected records. Yes or no?
Yes, yes.
Yeah. So let us see that. Yeah. Here we have. I think these are all unmatched records. Huh? And then like 13, 15, 17, 19, whatever, right? These are unmatched ones. So which is captured in separate output link, which is reject link. Clear, right? Okay. So then other things are matching ones, which is other peak. I think that we have already discussed. Clear, right? Any questions? Anish, Gopal, and Padma? Fine. Now the next is what other options we have. Continue and we have one more option. What is that? We talked about two options, drop, reject. We have two more options. What are those? Fail, continue. So continue option of lookup stage is equivalent with left outer join of join stage. Yeah. So that I think you guys can take exercise. Yeah. And other option is what? Fail option. So we don't have any equivalent type of join in the join stage. So fail option means what? If one of the record is not going to get matched, then the job would get failed. So it is mandatory that all the values that we get from the source should get matched with the lookup table data. Then only data would get transferred to a target. Yeah. So that's what happens with this particular fail option. And that also you guys can take it as a exercise. Clear, right? Yeah. So that's it about lookup. So we have some advanced stuff in lookup, range lookup. How do you do it? Which means we can also take one more exercise. Let us say you need to perform the lookup based on the range. For example, in between the values 10 and 20, apply the lookup only the records which are going to get matched with that particular range. So for that we use a range lookup. So we can just configure that within this lookup. If you don't get it, I'll show one or two examples on that. Yeah. And there is one more option here, conditional based. Remember, there is a condition followed by corresponding options like a drop, reject, all that. So which means we'll talk about that when we talk about transformer stage, because there we need to use some mathematical functions. So those things anyway will cover as part of transformer stage, which is going to be the one of the important and complex stage in the data stage. Okay? Fine. So that's it about lookup thing. Now we can move on to the next stage, which is going to be the what? Which stage you want? We'll go with a smaller one or again complex one. Yeah, let's go with a simple stage, which is going to be the what? Merge stage. Yeah, I repeat, we have one more combinable stage, which is going to be the merge stage. Yeah. So which means how are we going to make use of, or how are we going to combine the data, yeah, and start performing what merging the data. Remember, in three combinable stages, right? I'll just give one example and see whether we could achieve it. Yeah? Let us say there are 2 or 3 reference links, 1, 2 and 3. Yeah? So, and for each reference link, let's say we need to capture separate separate reject link. For example, state 1 reference link, corresponding state 1 reject link data. State 2 reference link, corresponding state 2 reject link data. Similar state 3 reference link, state 3 reject data. Can we achieve it by using a lookup or join or funnel? We can't do that. Yes or no? To achieve that, we can make use of merge stage. Remember, there's a question from Anish. What is that? Yeah. How can you look up based on a range? For example, date range. Yeah, we can specify here like date from date to date. Then within that, what we can apply lookup. One way use one is one we can use mathematical thing by using a condition, and second within a range lookup itself we can configure. Anish, we can use date. We can also use normal numerics, also string values. Yeah, I understand your question. Yeah, condition is date from date to date, right? Effective date and less than end date. Yes, we can apply that range by using range lookup. Range lookup can be used for numeric values and also date and string values. That's one way to do that. Otherwise, what? Using a condition. Yeah. So, yeah, there's one more thing which I did not talk. We can also have multiple reference links here in lookup. For example, here one reference link, right? We can also have one more. That also you can take it as exercise. 2 reference links, 1 source, and then 1 target or 2 targets. Let's say one reject, other is what? Normal output link. Yeah, which means what it is going to check reference link 1, reference link 2, wherever there is a match based on both the reference links, you will get the data transferred to a target. Yeah? That's what happens over here. Clear, right? So that's it. Yeah? So let us start doing the merge stage. Yeah? Merge, also we guys can start doing an example by using a merge stage and see whether we could able to capture separate rejected link data for each reference link. Yeah? Take 2 reference links and capture unmatched records for reference link 1 in reject link 1, unmatched records from reference link 2 in reject link 2. Yeah? How are we going to achieve it? Yeah? So which is what we need to discuss. Yeah? We need to do. So you can just try with one example. If you don't get it, then I'll show tomorrow. Yeah? Like probably we'll start bit early, 5:30. Is it fine, Anish and Gopal? Today we started 6 o'clock. So we'll start tomorrow at